Thank you, Sean, for sharing with us today. I love the whole bolstering and how physical activity, physical education can play a major part in that. So I am just going to quickly shift over to the Healthier Generation website. So if you haven't already, go ahead and log in and sign up if you haven't signed up already. Remember, it's a free program for you to use. And I'm going to come over and I'm going to click on assessments, and I'm going to come down to the assessments to kind of show you the different areas of the assessment policy. Remember that in the assessment policy, there are actually two parts. There is a district level assessment, and then there's a school level assessment. And to remind you that also that sometimes they're very closely linked and almost word for word, and sometimes they're a little bit just kind of not next to each other. So when you hear me talking about D1 or S1, D stands for district, S stands for school. So the first thing I want to do is today's topic was under strengthening social emotional health. And I'm going to scroll down and kind of show you some of the areas. D1, S1 talks about the coordination team for social emotional health. And remember that physical activity can be a part of that, and bolstering relationships can be a part of what we're looking at, or belonging. And then we go down in D3, S3 is district continuous improvement process to advance social emotional health. D9 and S8, gathering input from the students on the policies. So let's say that you wanted to focus on this one in your social emotional health. You'll click on here. To what extent does your district gather input from your students on your policies? Is this fully in place with the definitions here? Do you click on mostly in place, partially in place, not in place? You can also create tasks and notes as necessary for these kind of situations. You can also have D10, and that is connection with S9, which is to gather input from families on the social emotional policies. D14, district support for social emotional learning, and S15 are connected together. And then some of the ones that are just student specific are S10 and S12, which is promoting social emotional well-being and instructional time for a positive classroom environment. If you would like to make a connection and we don't want to do social emotional learning, there's a lot of things under staff well-being that you can talk about. I know that Sean was talking a lot about physical activity, but remember, the staff can be physically active as well in creating this. I think the best one down here is the district offers opportunities for staff physical activity. And this big one is really helpful because when you're doing the physical activity, it's a great time for the staff to bond and to create that sense of belonging. I know that in my current role for the Los Angeles County Office of Education, we have a number of us that get together to walk during our breaks, and that's a time we can socialize and grow closer as a staff. Also, the D6, if I come up here, to be able to do support resource mapping, which is something that Sean talked about today. And then also D10, which is positive staff relationships. So the physical activity can create that sense of belonging with with each other. The third one that you could also talk about is the bolstering both physical education and physical activity. There's a lot of them that are here. D1, S1 is talking about a coordination team. D3, S3 is talking about continuously improving upon your physical activity and physical education. D4 and S6 is about gathering input. D12 and D7 are about professional learning for physical activity or physical education. There is D10 and D11, which is about policy for inclusion, including all students. And then there are two for the schools, S11 and S14, which allows students to provide opportunities for physical activity in the day and opening facilities outside of school hours for physical activity as well. The last thing I'd like to show you is to kind of go over, and you'll see that there are some resources that are available. Sean has shared with us today a bunch of them. I've preloaded a few of them. So if you want to go over and click on the subject and you go down to physical activity, you can see a wide variety of physical activity resources that are included for you. If you wanted to go over to hang on just a second, Zoom is, there we go, my Zoom's blocking me, social emotional health and learning activities, and you hit the search button after you find it under the subject, you can see a wide variety of social emotional learning objectives. And then the last one is for staff well-being, and this includes physical activity assignments and activities, and to be able to complete these. So we hope that you have enjoyed today's presentation, and we would love for you to get into the Healthier Generation website and look for the resources that will help you with your next steps with your integrated assessment.